Hi all, hope I'm audible now. I was speaking on mute. I hope you can hear my voice and can see my screen as well. Could you please confirm on the chat?
Yes, Sudhanshu, we can see your screen.
All right, great. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Guys, so welcome to this Data Science Mentorship Session 4. This session is meant to help people who want to get into this data science domain and we want to enter into the data science domain. And here we discuss a lot of things and try to answer the queries which you have, because you being in the external world, not in the data science domain, have multiple questions, and we would like to answer those questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer those questions. Now, for this session, there are some people who might not have been to this data science mentorship. My name is Sudhanshu Saxena, and I'm a senior data science consultant and trainer for various corporates. I go to Pan India label, and I've been to many corporates. Also, I'm a visiting faculty to many institute, Pan India level, where I provide the data science mentorship and training. So this is brief about me. If you want to know me more, you can shoot out the questions. So what is this data science mentorship? This data science mentorship is for the people who want to get into um, this domain and have several questions, like for example, how to get into this data science domain, what to learn, what not to learn. And I also publish many videos on interview questions of data science. So today also, rather than answering the interview questions, I will be helping you out and giving you the data science, how to crack a data science interview. And some, like last week I got some questions about, is there any certification for this? So I'll just like to give you the answers for all these questions. So now the agenda would be how to crack a data science interview, and what should I know to become data scientist, and what are do's and don'ts when you actually go for a data science interview. And then we'll give you some time to ask about your questions. So be ready with your questions, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. Okay. Now, guys, first thing first, we want to pick up how do you crack a data science interview? Now, first thing first, guys, data science is not a single domain. It's a combination of various domains, which takes some of the information from mathematics, some of the information from algebra, some of the information from programming, some of the content from different domains and different best practices of various domains, and then combining that all together, you call it as data science. So it's not one domain. First thing first, uh, machine learning is an integral part of data science, wherein we do not use machine learning uh, in terms of identifying the faces and all those kind of stuff, but we want to use machine learning for predicting some values from our data. So we use a machine learning to predict certain values, certain forecasting from our data, from our historical data. So that what you want to learn, or what you should know before getting into all this thing is, first thing first, you should have um, the good knowledge of programming and mathematics, which is the core of it. So you should know the basic statistics, basic stats. Then you should know maths, right? Which to a good term. Then you should know one programming language, which is my preference is Python. Then the next thing which you should know is machine learning algorithm and the maths behind it, so that you can tune the parameters. And certainly you should know visualization, right? These are the things. Now, you should know how to present your data, right? Basically, these are the things you should know before getting into data science interview questions. Now, the a lot of people do this mistake, right? They When they actually go for data science interview, they kind of prepare some machine learning algorithms, right? Run some basic information on that. So for example, ML1, they have learned some linear regression, some classification problem, some clustering problem they've learned, and then they go for the interview. Now, which is a wrong way of doing it, because the interviewer might ask you two kind of questions. First is that he is from a certain domain. He's from, say, he's from X domain, right? And he might ask you the question related to his domain. This is first way of asking the question. The second way he can ask you the question is about data science. Now, data science. Now, there are 50% chances that he will ask you from his domain thing, 50% chances here and 50% chances here, right? We'll talk about maths because we are going into the data science journey. Okay, so now if he's asking about the the his own domain and you are not aware of um, his domain, then this kind of interview might not go well at all. The second kind of thing is that if he's asking about data science and say he asks 25 questions to you and you are able to answer, I'm assuming 20 questions, then out of this 50, you are left with 40% of the chances. So from 100%, you actually drop down to 40% of this thing, right? So when you go into an interview, there are 40% chances that you will get selected. Now, the problem here is that how would I overcome this situation? Now, there are certain things which which you need to know before you get into any of the interview. For example, if I know that my my interviewer or the company in which I'm going is actually BFSI, for that matter, right? BFSI. Now this BFSI is banking, financial sector, right? Insurance domain and all those stuff. Now, if they're coming from insurance domain, for that matter, insurance domain, right? They might ask you certain things. Now you should know not only how to predict the data, but also you should know how to predict their questions. They might ask you, for example, if there are n number of things, like in insurance, like if you consider insurance like any other product, there are n number of ways something can be predicted. For example, if you talk about insurance, if insurance is a product and I need to advertise that product uh, in the market, who are the people who will buy this product? So now there will be, if there is an ad going on, right, for this, I want to know whether person will be clicking on this ad or not. So if he clicks on the ad, we call it as 1. If he is not clicking on that, I'll say 0. Now this is a logistic regression problem. If you know logistic regression deal with dichotomous output. Dichotomous output means for a certain problem, you have only two possible things. Either it is yes or no, male or female. It would be probably whether somebody has arrived office or not, loan is approved or not. There are certain problems in the domain who's got only two options available. There is no third option which exists. Now this is a logistic regression problem. This is one thing which you should know before getting into it. The second thing is that what insurance person might be knowing or might wanted to know is that if some person is taking the insurance, what is the probability that he will claim? Now if you know that whether somebody will claim or not, this is a logistic regression problem again. Or if what kind of claim he's opting for, there could be n number of possibility. For example, there are options like A, B, C and D. This is multi-class classification. Now this is multi-class classification. What all algorithms can actually do the job? What all algorithms can actually predict the multi-class classification? So you should know the machine learning algorithms which are multi-class classification. Now there are n number of algorithms which are multi-class. Out of all these multi-class algorithm, which algorithm is being used by insurance industry, that you should know, right? That's how you will be able to crack the interview. And the next thing which we want to do is we want to know that if some insurance company is starting off a new product and they have got huge amount of data, say they have got 10 petabytes of data with them for all the users. Now what you can do with this data, somebody who has given you now, when I say that you've got 10 petabytes and 10 petabytes of data is actually very huge. It's not the data which you even you want to open that up and you want to see this. So if this 10 petabytes of data is huge, how would you identify that, how to pick up this 10 petabytes of data and I start doing analysis? Do you have the idea what are the steps to pick up a data and start working on it? Now, for example, if I give you an Excel sheet which has got 1 million entries into it, or say 1 million, I'm not sure if Excel can handle that. Say you have 100,000 entries into it, and there are 36 column or 40 columns in the data about people's age, their sex, their earnings, their how much they have invested, what are the problems they have, and all those kind of stuff, right? All the data you have. Do you know the steps how to pick up the data and start doing analysis on it? Now, if you know that how to do the analysis on it, right, this part is being covered in EDA, which is called as exploratory data analysis. Now, there are n number of things which you can do in exploratory data analysis. So I'll just remove the certain parts from here so that it would be easy for me to explain. Now, which is called as exploratory data analysis. Now, exploratory data analysis is nothing but how do you, so in exploratory data analysis, you just answer one question: what your data says. What your data says. You are not saying anything. Now, if you are a good data scientist, you would not say anything. You will not have your own assumptions. You will not say anything else except data. So you as a data scientist is equal to data. You will say whatever your data is actually telling you. You will not say even a single word apart from what your data is saying. You will not have your own assumption except what your data is compelling you to see. So EDA is nothing but what your data says. Now what your data says is the first step which you do when you get into any of the data. And it starts from various things. So you start with univariate analysis, then you go to multivariate, sorry, it has to be bivariate analysis. I'm sorry, it has to be bivariate. Yeah, it has to be bivariate analysis. Then you go for, after bivariate analysis, you go to multivariate analysis. And this is the most I think I'm back. I was not able to. Okay, am I audible now? Am I audible now, Liaquat? Okay, great. I think some flick has happened, and I lost your voice, guys. I lost my voice over here, so I was able to get it done. So now what your data says, and this is pretty much important, because if you don't know what your data is saying, you will not be able to answer certain questions from the data, and then that's where the problem arises. Now people think that if they will tell that, okay, I know regression, I know classification, that will solve the purpose. No, guys, straight away no. I will not hire you to just apply machine learning algorithm. Machine learning algorithms can be applied in 3 lines. I'm sure some of you might have applied basic regression or basic classification. You might have noticed that machine learning algorithms can be executed in 3 lines, right, or 4 lines for that matter. But it's not, I can't hire you to apply 4 lines in the code. No, I can't. I don't want to pay you 25 lakh rupees per annum, or 30 lakh rupees per annum, or 40 lakh rupees per annum just to apply 4 lines of the code. Rather than that, I will pay you for what you can take out from the data for me. right? So now there is something called as EDA, which is the most crucial part of which you should already know before applying anything to your data. So that's the first part. You should know EDA, and for EDA you use one programming language which is called as Python. Now the EDA consists of exploratory data analysis, and in exploratory data analysis you try to peel off your data, and you also talk about data through visualization of the data, right? So the more or the better visualization you have, better data knowledge you will have, and better you will be able to put into machine learning algorithms. Okay, now remember one thing, always garbage in is garbage out. If you insert garbage data in machine learning algorithms, you will always get the garbage out. So you will not get the meaningful results if you pour garbage data into it. That's something which you need to remember. Now coming back to the data science interview question, so first thing first, your interview can be domain specific. Now how would you talk about a domain specific thing? Now it's very difficult for some guy to understand everything about that domain. Now understand, if I'm a particular domain expert and I want to hire a data scientist, I do not want to ask insurance related or banking related or telecom related questions to it. Rather than that, I know that there are certain machine learning algorithms which are being used in my own domain, and how would this guy who is sitting in front of me, opposite me, will be able to apply its knowledge on that and take out inferences out of it. This is what I wanted to know. Now if I want to know this kind of steps, right, now how would you understand? Now I'll just give you one idea. For example, I have a machine learning algorithm which can predict two outcomes. For example, yes or no. This is what my machine can predict, whether this guy will be able to say yes or no. Now for a certain condition the answer is yes or no, right? There is no third condition which is applicable. Now if I go to health industry, and if I know my machine learning algorithm better, I would be able to connect it, whether this guy will get heart attack or not, right? If I go to health industry. Second, if you talk about e-commerce industry, will this guy predict will this guy predict um will this guy predict I want to predict whether will this guy actually buy a certain product or not. Buy I Sorry, my bad. Diakar, I'll just answer your question in a bit. I just say buy or not, right? Third industry, right? Will telecom industry, let's say telecom industry, will this customer churn or not, right? This is telecom industry, right? So it's the three industry: healthcare industry, e-commerce industry. This is healthcare industry. This is telecom industry. Fourth industry could be, just help me with the industry, maybe we pick up banking industry. Will this customer get is eligible for home loan or not? Banking. Now one scenario, one question can be manipulated in n number of industries, and everywhere you will be applying the same machine learning algorithm. But if you understood your machine learning algorithm well, if you know the business context of it, then only you can actually relate these problems. Otherwise you would be having a lot, like hell lot of difficulties to you know translate your problem into machine learning thing. Now you have a what industry wants from a guy who is appearing for scientist interview? One thing, right? I have a data, right, and I want this guy to answer some questions from this data. Now this answers, right, has to be relevant. relevant Now if you connect my point over here, that if you put in garbage in, then you'll get garbage out, then you will not be relevant at all. And whole thing is that if you are relevant in the market, then you will get the job no matter what. No matter what, you have to be relevant in answering the question. So you need to make sure that I'm putting there enough data. Now, logistic regression will be applied to all of these things, but the data which you will get for prediction of heart attack, or data you will get to predict whether somebody will buy something or not, or the data which you will get for churn prediction will be different than the data which you get in bank. Every time you get a different kind of data, and then you need to have basic understanding of your data before you apply logistic regression to it. So I hope you understand this fact, that you slowly actually go to the place where you can answer a problem in a much relevant way. So I hope you're getting it, that if you're somebody is asking you a domain specific question, that how do you answer it. The second kind of interview questions you may get is data science, purely data science related. The person is not asking you question related to his domain, and you're getting the data science related question. Now he would not ask you that what is regression. He's not interested to know that whether you know regression, or what is classification, or what is the machine learning algorithm which you like to apply in a certain thing, right? He knows that if you're appearing for the interview question, this is but obvious that you should know regression, classification, and clustering. You should know n number of machine learning algorithm which can do regression. You should know n number of machine learning algorithm which can do the clustering as well, right? Clustering as well, right? But what he's interested to know, that if you get a problem of bias variance trade-off, bias variance trade-off, right? How would you tackle the situation? Now, I'm sure some of you might have learned, or some of you people who are new to data science, they might get some terms which are here technical, but I'm trying to answer. I know that some people are there who might have tried learning something. Now they should understand, first thing first, what is bias. Now this is one thing. One thing is to understand what is bias, and the second thing is to understand what is bias in business terms. Second is to understand variance, and what is variance in business terms, and what is the trade-off between bias variance in business term. If I'm not able to apply this trade-off in bias variance in business term, what will happen to my prediction, and what impact it will make on my business. Now, he's not expecting you to answer the basic question. Somebody who's actually dealing or playing at this level, he should be knowing all regression, classification, and clustering techniques. You want to reach at this level, not at regression definition and classification definition and clustering definitions. He's not interested to know that. Trust me, he is not. Right? If somebody is asking you the basic questions, he might not have data science work with them. He might not have enough data science work with them. Now, if you want to play on this level, or if you want to play on regression definition or classification level, or customer or clustering definition level, right? Its choice is yours, where you want to play. If you really want to get into something, you have to be on the niche of that domain. If you are on the niche on the domain, you are on the top of it, then people might want to pay you off, right? Without any if and but. Now, what should I know to become data scientist? I kind of explained this, but you should know how to play with the data, to be honest with you, right? This is one thing. Now, if you notice, there are n number of machine learning algorithms. I told you earlier also in the previous sessions, there are 12 to 13 machine learning algorithms. In terms of, if you look at the Python perspective, but I consider 10 machine learning algorithm, but there are 13 methods, 13 statistical methods, sorry, 3 statistical methods, 10 plus 3, I can say. 3 statistical methods which you should know, right? For example, time series is one of them, RFM analysis is one of them, then you have association rules is one of them, market basket analysis is one of them. You should know these kind of things before you appear into any data science interview questions. So you should learn how to play with data, and then only think of. Now, if you think that you're not prepared, what you can do is prepare yourself first. Take out your resume, give it on hold on naukri.com. Do not apply for any job. Do not even look for the job if you think you are not prepared for it. Take 2 months of time, 2 to 3 months of time. Prepare yourself up to an extent where you think that, okay, now I'm going to crack this interview, right? Prepare your resume well, should know what are the points which you should mention in the resume and all those stuff, and then go for the interview. right? I can bet you that there are the chances which were close to 40%, it can be improved to 98% that you will get selected over there. You will have a choice of jobs rather than looking for a job. I want you to have a choice of jobs rather than looking for a, begging for a job that, okay, I can manage on the less package and those kind of stuff, right? So I have several questions, like having interview tomorrow for business analyst for restaurant chain, though much of the job description says tool Excel Tableau, how can I present myself? Liaquat, I'll just answer that question in a bit. Okay, and different sets of data should apply as per domain. We'll have to relate the concept of data, correct? Sarika is asking, does this DS help in weather forecasting? Yes. Everything which you see in terms of forecasting is nothing but the data science application. So it's actually very much evident that it can do like the things with pretty much accuracy. Now, what are the things which you should do before you get into a data science interview, right? I'll tell you what do's and don'ts of data science interview questions. First thing first, stop, please, and please stop mentioning the machine learning algorithm's name. Don't do that. Don't show that you are master of Java, C, C++, .NET, Hibernate, and also data science. Don't do that. You might be jack of everything, but you are not credible enough. You're not credible. If you're mentioning this, you're not credible enough to give a position of data scientist. Don't do that, right? Now some of us are here freshers. What they do is they mention everything, right? They say that I know C, C++, and Java in their resume. Don't do that. You have studied C in 1 out of 3 or 4 years of your education. You've studied out of 3-4 years in one semester, right? That too out of 6 subject, right? So if I compare your study, if I say that you've studied for 6 months 6 subject continuously, then you've studied one subject for 1 month only, that too 1 year back. Okay, and the person who's taking your interview is actually having experience of 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years in a particular domain. He's working on real time problem in a particular like C, C++ or Java or .NET, and he's been experimenting a lot. And what you actually did was you didn't even complete the book, right? And you're mentioning that you know C, C++. Don't do that. The moment you say C, C++ or any language name, he has got his whole ground open. He will made you run till the time you will say, no, I can't take it anymore, right? He will not spare you for that. He will just ask you any question from anywhere in C, C++, and I'm sure you cannot answer that. And what you have done is you've studied Yashwant Kanitkar book, which is having say 10 chapters, and you studied till 8th. You've not even gone to 9th and 10th chapter, and that too you are not true to yourself. Don't say that you are the expert of C, C++, Java, .NET or something like that. Don't say it, please. Now, if you don't do that, what should you do? If I have a skill, if I've studied some programming language, what should I do? Now you should do what? You should showcase your practicals. You should showcase that I have done a project, right? End to end, this is what I have done. Now there are two impressions. The moment you say that I have done a project, there are two impressions which is made on the interviewer's mind, that this guy has actually gone up one step ahead and done something on its own, which like 97% of the people don't do. So this guy is already in top 3%. The second thing which you do is the moment you start explaining, and you make sure that you actually did it. Okay, don't copy it from somebody else. Now the second thing is that if you've done that project by your own, you can answer every bit of that project. You have your whole ground open to answer the questions. Now the guy who was actually made you run in his whole ground is actually in your football ground, and you can shoot and you can answer and you can defend all the questions. You know everything about your project and you can answer anything about the project. The second impression that interviewer will get, that this guy has actually gone one step ahead and he actually did something on it by its own, and he's credible enough to, if I probably give him some job or some work, he might be able to put his best efforts, as compared to the guy who is claiming to be an expert of C, C++ and Java.net, or maybe data science for that matter. Don't do that, please. Okay, right? So we understood a couple of things. And please, in your CV, don't mention that you've been karate expert, you have won a lottery ticket, or you have actually managed a college level festival thing, or you have managed something which is nothing related to data science or any other skill domain. Don't mention that. Even if you want to mention, make it so small that if interview wants to read it, then only read it, otherwise there's no need, right? Don't mention that, please. Talk about what you have done. Talk about something. Just make a one page CV. That CV has enough information about you so that interview will be interested in your CV, rather than seeing what you have done is in, I have if I'm an interviewer, I have no interest in understanding that you won the football championship unless you are a national level player. Even then I might think of whether this guy will be suitable for data science or not. I'll judge you only on the data science related things, rather than picking you up for because you are good in football, you might not be a good fit in data science. I don't want to do that. Or if you have won some dance championship or something like that, please don't mention that. Don't do these kind of mistakes, please. Okay, do mention your work, do mention what you know. The next important thing which you should always do is, in the last of your CV, when you declare that whatever you have done is correct and all those stuff, just above that, right, just make a column of key skills. Okay, and say that I know Java but at prelim level, right? I if you want to if I know C++, I know C with 1 star rating, which means that out of 5 I know, if you consider 1 to be an expert or pro, I know it to a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. If you mention that, then the questions of that interviewer will be according to that. If you mention C, C++, he has got his whole ground open. He can ask you any questions. However, if you mention that I know basics of C, C++, he will check only the basics of C++ rather than checking the whole lot. I hope you're getting this logic. Okay. Now, what do you guys, do you have, okay, so I have some chat here. Sarika is asking, does this DS course requires master in statistics or programming or anything? No, Sarika. If you are good with the statistical part, if you understand the business implementation of, or I would say rather business statistics, you are good to go. However, programming is something which you can learn. Now, just don't look at the programming the way you're looking at it. Just think that if I want to make my computer understand what I want, then I have to tell him or it that something which is, so I'm thinking of some analytics and I need to translate my thoughts to my computer so that it can understand what I want and it can give me that output. And that's the tuning. If you just tune to that parameter, if you just try tuning your skills or your practice according to that, you will take no time to become programming expert, right? So it's very much helpful when you think that prospect. Don't think that I should be pro in Python. If you are pro, then it's good. If you're not, that's okay. You have still got a lot of things to do. So say for example, if you're starting your data science journey, you have 3 months. 3 months, just forget everything. Think that only Python exists in the world. I will be an expert of Python, and soon you will be reaching to that level, right? Put all the efforts which you can, and then try, picking all the things which are there in the Python. Go an extra mile to learn Python and all those stuff. Now I would like to take up your questions, guys. Okay, so I have one questions coming from Liaquat, that he is having some interview for business analyst for restaurant chain. Though much of the job descriptions, says tool Excel, Tableau, how can I present myself? Now, Liaquat, I'm not sure if you want to build a career in data science. Now, I would suggest, when you talk about the business analyst in India, things are pretty confusing. So don't go with the title name. Whether you're doing business analyst, you are actually doing nothing but the data analysis job. You're picking up the data. You're not doing the business analysis. You're just doing the data analysis. So where you pick up, and majority of the companies are actually relying on Excel when they do not have enough data. Soon, whatever study you are doing, whatever things are you are doing will be over, and then you will have either less work or you will not have enough work. I would suggest aim high and go for the companies where the skills are there, niche is there, and you can create your own niche in that domain. Now, when you talk about Excel and Tableau, all you can do is basic EDA, which is like how many customers actually appeared on a certain day. When can I expect more customer? Which is more of a basic, the basics, like completely the first step of analytics, where you can answer only one question: what has happened? Now, when you talk about data science goes 3 steps further, right? One step is, so basic step of any analytics is what has happened, right? That can be described by Excel, that can be described by Tableau, ClickView, Power BI, or any BI tool for that matter. Even the SQL query can do that. The next level is what is happening right now, right? The kind of questions you get from data science is what is happening right now. The third question you will get is is that what will happen, right? If things will keep on going in the same way it is going right now, what will happen, right? So for example, if you search on Google Maps and you say that, okay, I want to go to airport, how much time I'll take? Now, Google is not God who is predicting that you will reach there in 2 hours. Google is telling you one of the probabilistic measure. Just change your way the things look like. Change your perspective towards it. Google is telling you, if everything goes the similar way it is going right now, you will reach airport in 2 hours. There is higher probability that you will reach airport in 2 hours. Google cannot predict that if your car will break down, or you or driver say that I will not go anywhere. Google cannot predict that, right? So think into that perspective. Now, the fourth step which data scientists can help you with is what is the prescription or prescriptive analysis, which tells that what you can do. So the first question is what is happening right now. The second question is what is happening right now, what has happened, what is happening, and the third question is what will happen. And if you want the desired result, what are the prescriptive things which you should do in order to make sure that the things can improve, or something which is happening in a wrong way can be prevented, right? So I'm predicting that if somebody is having high blood pressure and high sugar, then I can predict that this guy may get a heart attack. Now I know that what will happen in the future, that it's 90% probability is that this guy will get a heart attack. Then I'll apply prescriptive measures to say what should I do right now in order to make sure that this guy will not get the heart attack, which is called as prescriptive analytics, which goes even one step further beyond the descriptive and predictive analytics. I hope you are getting this logic here. Yep. Any more questions?
Sudhanshu, this is Pratyush here.
Hi, Pratyush.
Ravi Shankar, in fact, he was very much interested. He works in Dell only.
Okay.
and he is very much interested knowing about machine learning and all. So Ravi, if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Yeah, Pratish. Actually, he was telling about resume should be one page. So can we have some samples?
Yeah, I'll show you my sample.
Yeah, sure.
I'll show you mine. Give me a
So
moment.
whatever we put, it will become almost 2 to 3 pages. So within one page, it's maybe miracle.
I get you. I get that. I get that. So I'll show you my screen. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, sure.
So this is how my resume looks like. Okay. I used to have 5 pages CV earlier. I hope you are able to
Okay.
see my CV here.
Yeah.
I have summarized everything in this one page. Now it has got all the information someone might be looking for my profile. I have presented my key skills. I have presented my education, my base location. If somebody wants to describe me in one line, what is that? What is my achievement? For data science, no nonsense resume,
Okay.
right?
And
So I
yeah.
used to have 5 pages CV earlier, where I've described earlier thing, but I have just compiled everything in one page. Now people
Okay.
have nothing to hide. They will ask the only relevant questions, nothing else.
Okay. And how data science is related to machine learning?
How data science is related to machine learning? A great question. Now let's do this. Now first thing. So if you consider this is artificial intelligence domain, this is my artificial intelligence domain. When I talk about artificial intelligence, it is nothing but I guess I need to mute everybody. Okay. So if this is my artificial intelligence is nothing but mimicking human brain, right? Or behaving human like activities, or showing human like activities. Now to show human like activities, there are various components in artificial intelligence. One is called computer vision. Second one is called natural language processing. The third one is actuators and the sensors, right? There are n number of things, and machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence. So machine learning is nothing but the brain of AI. Okay. So machine
Yeah.
learning is nothing but the subset of AI part. Now if you talk about data science takes a lot of information from stats, linear algebra, mathematics, programming, and machine learning. So data science looks like this. Okay.
Okay.
So machine learning helps data science in doing a lot of analysis. So ML term is common between AI and data science, and that's why people use it.
Okay.
All right. Now, guys, we are on the verge of finishing this up. Now, I'd like to tell you that we are going to start our classes from upcoming weekend, Saturday, Sunday, which will be 10 to 5 approximately. And we are running at approximately 2.5 months to 3 months of course, where we are providing the mentorship and end-to-end thing, starting from the very scratch of statistics. We're starting from the scratch of statistics to the the expert level of where person can start from basic to go to intermediate, and then it can go to expert level in data science. Will not leave any stone unturned to make sure that you become expert level, and then you can answer all the questions in the interview. Now this is starting from upcoming weekend, that is Saturday. Okay. Now, if you want more information on this, you may want to log on to datascience.com, right, and can register yourself if you are interested in going for this. So the programs is meant for especially for students and people um, who are like interested in getting into data science domain. Wherein wherein we will start everything from the scratch, statistics from the scratch, then we start mathematics from the scratch, we start programming from the scratch, we start visualization from the scratch and up to an expert level. Then we go for machine learning from the scratch to expert level, right? Now here, this program is approximately 105 hours, which is very huge program. And if you want, you can log on to 2datascience.com, and can register yourself for the program, right? This website is will help you understand what is the course content and everything. If you have any doubt, you can get in touch with me on the number which I'm mentioning over here, 98711 34420. This is my number. If you have any doubt, like what to learn and what not to learn, and what are the things, you are free to ask this question, or I'm available on WhatsApp also. You can message me on this number. I consider that we do not have any other question as of now. Uh, the only thing which is the prerequisites of this is that you should have 9th and 10th level of maths. 9th and 10th level. Now, I don't mean here that you should remember. You should know what is y is equals to mx plus c. You should know what is dy by dx. I'm not saying that you should know how to do the differentiation, but I'm saying, do you know what is differentiation of dy by dx? You should know that this is a summation, symbol of summation, right? You should know what is at least mean, median, mode, right? If you know this much of mathematics, I can take you to the expert level. So this is the basic prerequisites, right? Of anything. Now, if you have any questions, I'll just write down my number over here once again. In case you have any question, feel free to call me and discuss. I will help you as much as I can. Now, for the people, even if you do not want to join the course, this mentorship session is happening every weekend, and I'm just planning to do it every week, maybe in weekdays sometime, 1 hour, where you can ask your questions anytime. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can message me or WhatsApp me your questions, and I'll be including them in our mentorship sessions. Okay, for next session we will be picking up something else. Let's see, I'll wait for your questions. If you do not have any question, I'll pick up my own topic to explain. I hope this session has been informative to you guys, and you have gained some knowledge about data science. You feel free to call me or message me in case you have any questions. I would love to answer your questions. Okay. Till next week, I'll see you then in the upcoming session of mentorship. How many people are coming in upcoming sessions?
I will join.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. Great. All right, guys. It's great. I'll see you in the upcoming sessions, and take care till then. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you so much for attending the session, guys. Have a great and knowledgeable week ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.